What is up, traders? Welcome to the day. I am trying to deal with this position right now. Oh, yeah, yeah. How is everyone? Happy to see you all here. Okay. What's going on? Uh, Let me get popped in. I'm trying to verify where we're at on YouTube because I don't see the thing. Hold on. Justin, is it live for the public? Because I can't find it to even see the chat. Oh, here we go. I found it. I just need to keep refreshing, I think. Perfect. Okay, we'll let some people trickle in. We'll see what's going on. I got to see what's going on with my trades here. Okay. Oh, how is everyone today? Okay, well, I guess we'll just chat a little bit because, people are going to trickle in. This is a different time. It's not quite power hour yet. It's an hour before. It's a random Wednesday. I believe FOMC minutes, though, just hit, which is a nothing sandwich because it's basically just confirming that FOMC happened this last period, right? It just logs the minutes in place. And so that is not something that ever worries us. It should not be red folder news. It is not, in fact, actually that influential. So we're not going to worry about that. What we are going to worry about is this pattern trade that is my second attempt to take it. So I am working on this on NQ. Looks like a cup and handle. Do you guys see that? We'll see who's here. I think we'll talk about this more when more people pop in. But I'm trading this cup and handle pattern right now. And I got in earlier on it and I was in profit and it came back and stopped me out. And so then it's fine. I let it be. But then it came back and it held. And what I liked was this volume here. On these little dojis, it came down. It looks like it's wanting to hold. It came down and retested this consolidation from the market open this morning, and it retested. So this right here is my cup and handle line that I was waiting for the break. So I front ran it a little bit and I got in ahead of time, but then it did actually reject right along this trend line, which is interesting. It kind of makes sense for the first rejection. So I did have my stop right underneath of here. So I took a pretty obnoxious stop hit right there that turned my P&L red on the day, but I'm trying again here. Just got in obviously right here for the next breakout because we're getting some good momentum out of here. And so it could just be the retest of this consolidation and this pullback. And if it just wicked that liquidity and is pushing higher, the pattern is still in play. So I want to see if we can get this to be the end of day trade here. I don't think I'll hold them all up to here because I have a naked point of control here, which is one of my favorite targets. So I'm just going to place my order here while it's still kind of a small crew trickling in. This is where I want to get out. It's right below my point of control for the most part. I'm going to put 2 of them there, or 4 of them. I'm got in for 5 contracts, 5 micros, and I am going to take off most of them at this point of control from yesterday. See if we can get up there. And then going to be a deep stop, honestly. Again, this is my last attempt at this move. But it needs to be under this pivot for right now until we can get up and under it, because this could easily be the rejection to come back in right now. So that is the pattern on it's you can see it really good on the 15-minute time frame. So this was the overnight fall with that news of the war, and then it creeped back up in the morning, pushed up, and then couldn't really get back to these levels from yesterday and had a rejection here. Came back down to this consolidation area and held. So I was in the long early and then ended up getting stopped out because I was holding for higher targets and it never got there. So it took my stop out, which was moved up on there. And then I tried again and took a stop out again. And then I shorted and took it down and I got out here. So that was a nice profitable trade. I moved to break even on my last runner and that was taken out as well. But now I'm working on seeing if we can get this cup and handle pattern to play out. It could be a W, but it's honestly, this is a higher leg. And so that gives me cup and handle vibes because it's more like a bigger cup and then a smaller, shorter handle is what I'm seeing here. Now on ES is actually the W pattern. So they're very similar, but what I like about this one, why this one is harder to call a cup and handle, is that this is a little deeper scoop and it's a little bit wider as well from here to here. And so, cup and handle versus W. This one's more W-ish, the other one's more cup and handle-ish. But basically, the hard fall, creep up, fall again, higher low, and now we're pushing up again. So this right here, you can even see my annotations kind of W pattern breakout. So this is where I want to try and long. I tried earlier as well on this breakout here when it broke, and then took the stop out when it broke and fake breakout and came back in. So I'm trying one more time. We'll see what happens. This stop out, this is my only ES trade, was this attempt here. And so, but both of those last two patterns are trying to stop me out. And so I'm trying one more time just because it's a beautiful pattern. And the bulls have had some energy today. They had the first push, then there was a pullback, and then they are pushing again here. And so then we broke the morning high. A pullback makes sense after that, but I couldn't take no risk, So in both of those cases, I put my stop underneath the bullish engulfing that did the breakout, and it was taken, but not by much, honestly. It wicked underneath to take that liquidity and then pushed again. And so for me, that is kind of a liquidity grab, retest of the breakout, and the bulls were there. And so that's why I chose to re-enter, even though I am red on the day because of the morning and these breakouts that did not work the first go around. But it's a really good pattern. And I think that the bulls have some energy today. I think that this higher low on both indices working together. The news is not really having a big influx. Like I said, there was FOMC minutes 8 minutes ago, but that doesn't usually cause anything. It's a red folder, but it should not be. It's basically just a reporting in of what happened at FOMC this last session, which we already know because it happened and we were there and watching it and paying attention. So anyways, that on Forex calendar, that actually is there, but it doesn't impact our trading. So if you're joining me now and you're not in a trade, this is the trade that I am working on, is the cup and handle on NQ and the W basically on ES. I'm in long on both of those. My entry here on NQ is at 93. And then I'm targeting this point of control from yesterday, which was respected overnight too. If you see that, it was really kind of oscillated around, and it was kind of a key area yesterday. And it was around, we slid down, we tried back up overnight. It was respected twice. And it's underneath this key area from yesterday mid-session. So I do think it's a really nice target. And then this is the high of yesterday's, not the high. I mean, we were higher in the morning, but then the high of the pull up yesterday, which is also the value area high from yesterday's volume profile. So that is what determined me to get in this long trade and where I have my targets placed and why. This area of consolidation obviously had a lot of volume associated with it. That's why it became the point of control from yesterday on this NQ chart. ES is similar. However, ES had 2 points of control, depending on how you look at it. So this one was the first point of control, and then this one was the secondary. They were very, very similar in the amount of volume that was traded on them. So I put them both on my chart. Normally, I don't do this. Normally, there's a clear point of control, a point of the highest volume exchange in that session. But on this day, they were very equal. So in that situation, I just draw them both, because if there's two that are poignant, then I want to note them at both, because you can get a reaction at both. So that is going to be my first target for this breakout of this W pattern here that we're trading right now on ES, because it's very rare within reason, and it's right underneath this pivot point here from overnight around midnight here. But then also it was Q level yesterday and overnight as well. So that's going to be my scale out on my MES W pattern long trade. And then I'll hold a runner to just see, if we can get even higher, potentially even up to this point of control. But the bulls would really need to make an aggressive stance here. But it is within play. We also could trade to this kind of where the day closed yesterday, because sometimes that is an area that is traded through. Some people refer to it as the settle price. It's basically where the day's candle closed. And so it's the closing of the body of yesterday's candle on the daily level. And so that is often sometimes a target for me, or something that I am watching. So that might be, let's just pull this to there right now and kind of watch it. 51. Oops, so that was the wrong one I dragged. Um, so that is the settle price, the closing of yesterday's daily candle, where I have that ultimate target here for my ES trade. And then I like this point of control because it's just above the value area low, and it was key level traded through multiple times, and so there's some good volume there for my scale out. And I'm going to take 4 of them off there just because we don't have a ton of time in the day, and I like to put it right underneath of them because I like to get filled. Let me just set that trade because I was kind of getting ready to go stream, and then stopped out and so I was watching it as I was getting ready to stream and turning it, all my stuff, getting all my camera stuff fired up. So anyways, I'm still organizing my morning. Both of these entries are working in the sense that this is a 15-minute candle, and so this bullish candle right now doesn't close for 3 more minutes, but it already is larger than the previous bear candle and showing some bullish momentum out of here, which is what I want to see. Right now, we are trading above that break line on both indices. Again, what I want to see. So this is confirmation that the trade is working at this point. So I like that. And let's keep an eye on this one as well. You know, I could do, no, that's not what I do. No. Yeah. Oh my gosh, where is it? This is what I want to do. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to put that. I'm going to keep the NASDAQ on the left, and I'm going to put BS on the right. That way I can watch both these trades kind of at the same time. Okay. So they're both kind of hovering around their entries, but the stops are placed on both under the last pivot, and then the targets are placed on both as well for point of control, and then targets beyond those. As if this does break, it should move. We have an hour and 45 minutes, so that's plenty of time for this move to happen. Sinister Scalper, I appreciate you so much for saying that because it has been tricky lately, honestly. It has been a little bit more choppy. I felt like this morning's trading was very choppy and it was pretty irritating because there was a strong show of bullish aggression at open, but it just could not get the job done. There was so much hesitation, and then it walked around, and then I felt like it gave signals for the buys and the longs. And I don't call myself a seasoned trader yet, but I have traded for a while. You know, I'm over 5 years, not quite 5.5 years, I guess, as a trader. But I've had, a couple of years of profitability. And so this market right now is absolutely frustrating. This week has been a little bit mixed for me. I mean, I did thankfully pull off green both the last couple of days. Let me double check because it got a little weird there for a minute. But yeah, so green the last 2 days. This one is not it, but we'll see. The day is young here. But it has been tricky to navigate this price action. And I just think right now this is a really good pattern. And so I really believe in grizzled vet. Maybe, right? It's still working on building up those years of experience. But honestly, I truly believe that every trading day makes me better. Every day that I'm exposed to the market and opportunity, and I put risk on, and I carry that risk, and I hold it, and I see it play out, I think I'm getting better. And I appreciate the opportunity that I have to trade with you guys here at BluSky, and with the amazing other coaches here that have all been trading a bit longer than me and share their wisdom so freely, which is amazing. So yeah, anyways, I really am working on my veteran status over time, but more so I'm just happy to be continually learning and exposed and have the ability to understand, putting risk on the table and managing it and seeing what I can get from it. So yeah, that's what these trades are both working out. But I said that before. Both these other trades was so frustrating because it would have turned my P&L from red from the morning to green if I'd have just locked out here. But I didn't. I wanted to take this full trade, so I took a little stop out on it earlier. Let's go BluSky. Yes, Icy Hawk. Welcome. I appreciate you being here. I am all about Team BluSky because honestly, I've been around for a while and I've traded the prop industry for years, and not all prop companies are created equal by a long shot. Like there's some companies out there that are not honest and reputable and will take advantage of their traders and change rules and monkey around. And it's unfortunate, but I'm very happy to say that that's not been my experience at BluSky. And so we have genuine people at the heart of the company, and traders that are on here are, real traders and just trying to put our risk on the line too and make some money and share the experience with y'all. And they work until they don't, which is it's a very, very true point about the experience that you can have places. But thankfully here at BluSky, like the daily payouts and the customer service is really solid. So I feel good about where we're hanging out at and what we're doing together. Oh, you guys, this trade is driving me crazy. I do believe in it because I really like the pattern. That's why I am in it. That's why I'm trading it. But it's been kind of iffy, honestly, these last half an hour here. What is up, Mary? Nice to see you, girl. Happy to have you popping in. Oh, yes, I see Hawk. I hear you on that because knowing that I have experienced some other potential opportunities out in the prop space as well, I know what you're saying, and it's more genuine here. The traders, the support, the rules, the opportunities, the varied accounts, which to some people is like, oh, this is a lot, but just read through them, and it's a lot of opportunity and potential. So that's what I really love as well, that there is different options for different styles of trades, different ways that you like to manage your risk, etc. Mary is one of our traders who was here back in the Discord day. She's got an excellent strategy for taking her trades. We've got some people who have been with BluSky from the beginning that pop into the chat and the days that we're having, and that's so fun to like be a part of that community with y'all. So I love that. This is flirting right around my entry price, you guys. And if anyone was not here, I'm trading this pattern. I'm going to shrink it down because I'm in both. But this is a W on the ES for me on the larger time frame. These are 15-minute charts that I'm trying to be patient and manage on. But this W pattern had a breakout level and kind of spoke to me because, we made a higher low on this pullback and we pushed up with some strength and then we're dancing around this level. So this dance does make sense here. But I tried once already on this pattern and I was in profit and then came back and took out my stop. And so when the bulls defended, I got back in. But we'll see. I mean, if it takes me out again, I might just have to chill a little bit, but we'll still hang out and see what we can see. But that, and then on the NQ, it's a little bit higher and a little bit narrow here. So this is more of a cup and handle if you see on the 15-minute for the last overnight and today's action. So both of those are a bullish pattern out of support with a breakout. And so both of them did break out and then come back and slide back in for a retest. But they both showed that the bulls were there on the retest, which is what got me to try one more time. You can even see my fills here. This is the breakout here, and then the stop out, and then the re-entry on this momentum. And now we're flirting with my entry, which feels fine. Like it's a risk that I'm willing to take because it's a pattern that I enjoy and that has a higher probability of success. And my entry was pretty good. It was right along the breakout level. We showed some intention to get outside of it. Both these charts had a 15-minute closure above the breakout line and then a retest of it. So I am going to hold this trade and see how she goes. Both of them, I have scale outs placed at point of control from yesterday, which is an area that I like getting targeted. The rocket scooter guys, love a muskie. I don't know about that. Sounds fun. I don't know about the rocket scooter guys. Mrs. McKay. That Wednesdays is the day where my 13-year-old watches his brother. So it's gonna be fine. They do great. What could be wrong? What could be, perfect. Okay, so that's the pattern that I'm in. That's the way that I got in. That's how I'm seeing the market. That's why I have my screen super cluttered. I'm sorry about that, having both these charts up, but it's honestly kind of a good way to monitor both trades and see how they move together and see if one really fails and the other one doesn't, or one breaks out and which one's following which one. So I like to watch them in tandem, especially if I'm trading the pattern on both things. I need to know about Rocket Scooter. What is happening? You guys must know it. Do you guys know each other, Sinister Scalper and Icy Hawk? I wonder. Maybe. You're newer names for me. I've been here at BluSky since last end of September, early October last year. So gosh, 9 months now. Gone by really fast. Like, which I think is true. I don't know if you guys experience that, but life does go by fast. Like, I think sometimes like, oh, my goal is this happened. It's gonna take forever to get to XYZ or whatever. But then it happens. Like then all of a sudden it's like, oh, winter, all of a sudden it's summer, and now we're in the middle of summer, and all of a sudden it's July. Like I feel like I'm already thinking about what my schedule is going to change when my kids go back to school in the fall. But like it's going to be here in no time. So I need to back it off and enjoy like the summer days. So I'm constantly reminding myself of like time goes really fast, and be present in the moment and enjoy these days, these sessions, these opportunities. Like enjoy this trade session that we're in right now. Enjoy the fact that I can see a good opportunity and give it a go and respect my risk and know that no matter how this trade, if it wins or it loses, like I'm good. I'm a strong trader who took a chance at a trade that I understand. So abundance versus scarcity, right? Like the fact that I was stopped out more than I won today. Like I took, I think, 2 stop outs and then a winning trade. And then in my afternoon here, I took 1 stop out and then back in. So far today I'm red. And my last trade was a stop out. So like I am in no way a perfect trader. I am glad that I walked away after my morning stop outs and took a little break. And that is how I saw my trade that won. And so that was good to get back some P&L. This break low here, I got in for a short and I held it down to here. And then I moved my stop to break even and I was taken out. But that did earn back some of my P&L, which was good. And then I took another little break and got ready to stream and was setting up my chart to make sure I was ready for the stream. And I saw this pattern because I was just making sure I had my levels annotated that I wanted to make sure to speak to today. And I was looking and I was like, oh my gosh, I love a cup and handle and a W, especially when it's on a 15-minute chart over like a 24-hour period. Those are good setups. Nice, Ricky. You are killing it. You really show up every day. You're learning, you're asking questions, you're participating in all of the sessions that we have, you're locking in gains. Like, I love that. Great job, Ricky. Cheers, man. You show up in the evenings. I see you at market open, like for power hours for psychology lab on Tuesdays. Like that is sort of dedication that adds up. And we've talked about this actually in psychology lab of like, when you show up for the conversations and the effort and to be in rooms of people that are on the same mission as you and working toward the same goals, it shapes you, it turns you into a really dedicated professional on it. Struggling around resistance. Thanks, Vicky. I know, Mary, I am a little irritated because honestly, this pattern went earlier when I was in it and it like I got in and it just popped and it was immediately like a couple hundred in profit on both. I was like, this is great. And then I walked away, like finished like situating my house and like, putting on some lipstick, whatever. And then I look back and all of a sudden I'm red and it stops me out. And it's like, come on. Been slacking on the mic sessions. Well, he has really been consistent since he got situated after his move. So Mike has been Monday through Thursday. So if you've been slacking, you've got time to get back in the role. He's been putting up some bangers. Like, and it's interesting too to see him in this market because this morning was hard. Like he was trying for the longs as well. And I think he scaled out in profit and I took a hit on my first long. But he really does a great job leading by example and showing his trades and talking through his levels and why. And I just really appreciate him spending that time. It has been tricky, Icy Hawk. Like I am with you on that. This trade has been in and out of profit, which is why I was messaging a trading friend too. I was like, I can't. This morning, my trades, both of my morning trades were in and out of profit so often that it was like a head whip between the green and the red on it. So it's like, oh. I love that you slept in, Jada, because it was not it. Yeah, I've had success at open generally. And so I want to lean into that. But I'm West Coast. And so I have to get up at 5:30 to be involved in the open. So it's an investment as a personal choice. But I like the volatility, but sometimes it bites me in the butt. Like today was not easy for me to trade because the targets that I felt were very reasonable for both trades that I got in like were hard and I was taken out of them before they got to target. So stop loss at this level, know your risk. Yeah, it seems too much for me. Well, I know this NQ risk is bigger. I'm hoping to get some closures and then snug it up underneath of them, but I don't want to squeeze it too bad because my trade earlier, if I didn't squeeze it right underneath this bullish engulfing, would be in profit still and I wouldn't have taken the stop out. So I want to trust this trade and give it a little bit of room and then let these 15 minutes close while we still have an hour and a half of market open to see if I can get the breakout. But the more it hesitates, the more it's not working. So I don't know if you guys have heard that. Like if a trade is really bouncing and is not getting there, then it's a sign that it might not get there. And so the more we like mess around at this level, that could be a sign that it's not going to break out. Versus if this strong bullish engulfing on the 15-minute on both of them had held, that would have felt much better for the continuation. However, the pattern is not broken for me, which I love that Matt pulls me down on that, because sometimes I want to monkey with my trades even still. And he's like, well, the pattern is still there for me. And so he helps, remind me of that all the time. And so that is where this pattern is not broken for me. It did break out. It closed above on the 15-minute time frame, which I like. And then it pulled back in and it hasn't sunk. So I'm going to give it a little bit of time here. And then I'm going to manage my stop on the 15. But so far I'm on the 15 under this last bullish strength candle. And that feels like the right location for me. And this 30K count. So I have a little bit more risk availability on it. So it doesn't matter what size account you're trading to. So if this was a 50K count, I would not be holding this size for this risk or be in both positions. I would choose one indice only, and I would be a little bit smaller size down based on where my stop has to be. But this is a 30K. So I have a wider risk tolerance. It's a 30K static. That's like 15K in profit as well. Not saying I need to give back that 15K, but saying that this account I get to trade, and hold a little bit of risk on because of the size and strategy that comes with that size of account. So that's part of it as well. Do you think any mortal being can learn how to trade and read the price action like Mike in less time than his 10 years on the charts? That is an excellent question, Laura. I do think that Mike's skill is massive. And I've talked to him about this both in person and on his streams. And what he repeatedly says is that it's the changes that happen are subtle. Like you just keep showing up and you keep talking to your trading partners and engaging with other traders that you respect and that are kind and genuine and want everyone to succeed too. When you speak to those people and you keep trading and you keep learning and you hear Mike talk about where he gets his levels from and how he manages his trades, it all grows. So all of that effort compounds. And so now we have availability to traders like Mike that we didn't really have. Like that didn't exist when he was a younger trader. He had to kind of figure it out a lot on his own, and the mentors he could get in the rooms with, they helped him. So moral of that story, I guess, is I do think we can do it faster than 10 years, but not by a ton, because you literally what he has always said is that it's the experience and the showing up for the work that created who he is. And so all of us just have to put in our time, really. It's like, a medical student who goes to college, like they have to put in the years and then get into med school and then get into grad school and then be a resident and then get those hands on those patients for years. And then they are competent. And then they can progress into being excellent physicians in time. But you have to see, certain disease processes hundreds of times and how they respond to treatments and medicines. And so all of that has to shape you as a trader, as a professional in business. And so I think that the short answer is, maybe not quite 10 years because we have more access now than we've ever had to really good mentors. But years, I think, is reasonable, because you just have to get in those reps in order to get good, because there's no fast tracking that. Straight. Today was tricky. Just scalped most of the morning. Mike is the same, but all the coaches are excellent. Aw, thanks, Ricky. I really appreciate that. As I'm sitting in losses across the board. So I'm telling you what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. Short NQ, Vodka's in the short team. Okay, Vodka, but look at this pattern. This is what I've been trying to trade, and this is why I'm in the long. But I'm gonna support your short if it works. It doesn't work here. But because this is my NQ on the left here, this is like a cup and handle or a W, and it gave me the breakout on the 15-minute, and I was like, okay. I know. And then on the 15-minute, this 9 EMA came up under us, and we got some signs of some bullish strength here, but it's fading. It is fading. Oh, dang it. I think twice failed is not going to work. Scalp it. Yeah. You went long twice and it failed too. Okay. So I know that when the longs are failing, like I was saying a few minutes ago, if we're trying for a trade and it's just not doing it, the longer it doesn't work, the more it's not working. All right. I'm with you, Vodka. I'm going to cut this. It's not doing it. It doesn't. I'm going to be irritated, but this is a lot of risk. Let's see. Let's move it up under the body here. Yeah. That's already up under the body. I'm going to let them get taken here. I'm going to move my stop up to right where price action is and put it underneath the body of this last bullish candle. It's a frustrating day. I'm not going to lie. I'm V-shaped recovery, not cup and handle. Becky, imagining coffee. I do love my morning coffee. I'm not even going to lie. Right now I'm onto an Olipop soda, but I mean, I like coffee in the morning. But the pattern stood out to me. I got the break I wanted. I got to trade my setups, but this one is struggling. So I tightened my stop on both of them to right underneath the body of this candle because does appear to be failing. Again, it put me into profit and then it sunk back underneath of it. I probably should have done break even, honestly, once it got me in profit again, knowing that it already failed once, but I was chatting. And I wanted to give it time. I didn't want to squeeze it too much, but it's concerning me that it's taking this long to not work, because if it was going to break out, like one pullback should have worked. And I was trading that this one was going to be the trade that's going to push it. So that was why I got in, is that this bullish momentum here, this was the pullback. This is the momentum that's going to propel it forward. And the fact that it couldn't even break the high and already was seeing rejection, a little concerning. So I did tighten my stop up, and it so far is holding. I'm still in this long. Not a coffee person. I hope it goes in your favor. Oh, thanks. Me too. Oh, never had a coffee in my life. Okay, I did not like coffee when I was younger, but now I have like a almond milk and vanilla sugar-free sweetener type option. So I make it in a way that's really good. And then I put protein powder in it. All right, we're locking it all down. That's enough. That's enough of this business. Both of those snugged up stops were hit. We are sinners. Because you don't drink coffee? Or because, yeah. It's sus. It's like alcohol, honestly. It's a flavor that you can choose to acquire or choose to be like, "Ugh, you don't help me, I don't need you." Which some of the people who are like the healthiest, happiest, I feel like, are like water tea drinkers, And so I've been trying to lean into tea and just limit my coffee in the morning to not all day, because I feel like I sleep better at night and I stay more steady. Yeah. Ugh. That was annoying. I really felt good about that pattern. I was like, this is so fun to stream for 2 hours with the pattern that looks really good. And I just took 2 losses back to back at the start of my stream. So now we just get to hang out and enjoy each other's company. You love tea also? I love tea. I love chai tea is one of my favorites. And then you can do black tea, chai tea if you want a little caffeine in it. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Olives. Olives are a little bit of a different flavor too. And black olives and green olives are quite different, honestly. Chai tea. Okay, Nick's a chai tea drinker as well. Mhm. Chai tea is great, and you could get dirty chai tea where you put coffee in it. Have you guys ever done that? Because oh yeah, Ramadan Turkish. Yeah, that's delicious. Ramadan Turkish tea or coffee, honestly. I think you can do both varieties of that. Chai, lots of green teas. Yeah, good choices. Yeah, sometimes if I need a caffeine hit, but I don't want to go full coffee, I'll do a dirty chai. So it's like the chai tea flavor and then just a little bit of caffeine. No. Oopsies. There is good. That's what I'm saying. Chai coffee is. I call it dirty chai. I think, I don't know, somewhere out where I live is what calls it that way. QT. Are you guys shorting this because the longs failed? So back to VWAP. I think you might be right about that, vodka. But I don't want to like jump back into this trade without thinking about it. Okay, I'm going to go downsize to just only one indice because I need to back off my leverage a little bit. We trade a lot of NQ around here, so I'm going to look at my NQ chart. I'm going to say this is my cup and handle / sloppy W that did not work out. Twice it attempted, and it was shot back down based on this is a massive bear candle that happened overnight. But this is a huge movement. And so it makes sense, honestly, that all around this area, bears might defend. I mean, this was a huge amount of volatility for overnight. And so I think that I maybe undervalued that. I was looking at this pattern quite heavily, but this is a substantial resistance. So if this folds, it could actually be a pretty quick sink down to that VWAP area for the end of day. It is so tricky. Oh, Mary's looking out for me, which I love. Thank you. Ricky, skip breakfast. Do you have a cup of mushroom coffee? Okay. mostly water all day. A cup of cottage cheese, Oikos. Oh, we would be friends, Ricky. I tried mushroom coffee, and um, okay, how do you fix it? Because I need to make it better because it's too I think I need to use like a frother. It's a little bit grainy. And then the flavor is different. I need to get on board with it. But I did buy some, which brand did I Mud Water, which is the brand of mushroom coffee that I tried. Mary's like, no. Well, you see these bowls right here? I'm gonna ignore it for a minute. And I'm gonna let it settle and see what happens here on this candle. Because this is gonna be irritating if it pops. Oh yeah, I don't do breakfast until usually about 4 hours after I wake up. Because I'll wake up at 5:30 and then I'll just do water and coffee and stream or trade or whatever. And then I'll do breakfast like after I'm done with all that. If I don't stream, then usually I try to work out early, and that way I like to work out empty and then get food, which is a good mix for me. Close to re-enter. Oh, good job, vodka. That fast is really good for the body. There's so much evidence about fasting and how healthy it is for bodies and like GI reset and just overall healthy dietary choices. Oh, this breaks. It's gonna hurt my soul a little bit. Because I tried twice. Fine. But they are being tricky today. This is where I got into trouble earlier too, is basically chop like this, but with higher volatility. And right now it's just chopping there too, right along in this bearish aggression, which does make me favor the shorts because of all this aggression, all this, the sell zones stacked on top of it, like resistance, resistance. It was making lower highs, and then overnight a lower high and a crash. We retested that here and it came down, made a higher low. We retested again and it did break this. So that gave me the bull vibes. But we're still like in this resistance area here. So yeah, we had everyone missing minutes, but they did nothing. Like the 11 o'clock or 1 p.m. Eastern clock candle did nothing. It's just like, yeah, like 30 minutes ago. Yeah, 4:30. Yeah. But they're red folder and they shouldn't be. It's basically just like putting in print what we already know is policy. And so it's like obnoxious that that's red. But it did happen. And I was in a trade at the time and it had basically no influx. I've got some kind of feels about this. Let's see what happens if it's going to, I'm going to draw some drawings on here. What to do? I want to put a box on this top 5-minute resistance. On the 5-minute. It looks good for the long because it's pullback, bullish, came back, held the lows, pushed up. On the 15, it's a lot choppier and more concerning. And this is the larger time frame sell here. What we saw before was a bullish candle and the sells. I'm going to take a stab at the short on the short. Hmm. We look away for a minute. Why don't we look at gold and gold today? I did not touch gold, and I haven't updated my chart on it either. So why don't we just have a moment? Have a moment here to just consider something else. Okay, this is the daily on gold. This has been a beautiful consolidation breakout retest. This is a nice buying wick on the daily candle. Okay, so I'm a little bit in favor of longs. Look at how this 9 EMA really scooped up underneath of it. I'm going to get rid of these. Bebop. So the 9 EMA scooped up under it on the daily with where we're at right now. Let's do 4-hour sunk down hard into resistance, tried to hold, pushed lower, was bought up with the buying wick, and is now pushing higher. So this looks like a buy for me on the 4-hour as well. 1 hour looks strong, although we're coming up to resistance. On the 1 hour, this is VWAP, but also the moving average scooped up under us here. We'll try gold. Although we're nearing resistance here, and the fact that we've been bearish all day and we're at the VWAP. I want to short with you, vodka. Yeah. It's just so freaking sideways in the last like half an hour, 45 minutes where I was trying to trade it. I got irritated. I'm going to cheer for you though, because I want it to be bearish now that I lost. Back to the 5. Yeah, that's why I want to short right here. All right, I'm with you on the shorts. This longs is not working out. In my opinion, the longs are failing, and we're at that key resistance from yesterday. So we're going to short this mama down to VWAP, which I'm going to put my target at 69.75, just above it, right there. And then we're going to put our stop right above this last pivot, because I can't just take all the risk in the world. This was my initial bounce high, this orange line here in the middle, there's a lot of lines now, especially with the fill being red. But this is my initial bounce high, which we retested, tried, are sinking back under. So it's not showing a breakout, which is why I'm in favor of the shorts as well, because it really tried. It tried here, it tried again. Even this, it's like the bears are coming in more and more each time. Like it couldn't get as high, and then the bears came. This one didn't get as high, and then there's bears here, which this candle's only half baked. But it just shows that the longs feel weak right now. All right, let me go back to gold for a minute. Orange band. Okay, so I actually like this long on gold, but we're approaching this resistance here too. So the breakout would look good, but we're at a resistance of, when is this? This was pre-market, and right at market open was this resistance. And then everything has been under VWAP. So to break above that would be a sign of strength, but the larger time frames are long. Gold, I don't trade. I'm going to trade a little smaller. Gosh, the 4-hour just looks so strong on gold. Make sure silver is doing it too. Yeah, silver's pushing up. Let's see if we can break it. See if we can't break this top here. And then I'm going to put 2 of them out with the liquidity from the overnight. And I'm going to put my stop. Make it bigger so that I can see what the heck I'm doing. Right underneath this engulfing. Okay, so that gold long is starting to work already, but again, I said we're at VWAP, but this momentum looks good. This looks like a 2-legged move. Like it did this period of consolidation, and right now it's breaking to the upside on gold, and the larger time frames that we went down through are bullish. Daily and 4-hour both look strong right now. We're going to see if this breakout can work. Although if I'm taking momentum, I really need to take a little less risk on this, especially now that I'm flipping charts. So I'm gonna put it right underneath the last 5-minute candle, because 2 times it rejected and now we're breaking out. So I would love for this to just break out. I need my trades to start working. Let's go. Let's see what I'm doing. Okay, well, that pattern is still there. However, it's really consolidated. And earlier when it really consolidated, it fell. So that's what we're trading here, because the longs were not working. So we'll see if the shorts will work. And yesterday the fade back in to VWAP worked beautifully at the end. It fell down towards in power hour though. No, I think I just hit my first target on gold. What was that? What the heck just happened? Yeah, I did. Oh, a fast, easy win. Gosh, I should have had more size on gold. Yeah, look at other indices and see what's happening out there. That was a quick, easy, fast win. Half my gold position is already out at target for taking out this liquidity high. But that was nice. I mean, hey, cheers for that win. All right, where should we hold this other one to, guys? Let's look at this gold chart for a minute and manage her. All right, so this is a big area of like open air basically until this low point here. Let's get active on this chart a little bit now that this trade needs some management. So around 41.26 is this break of structure here with this massive volatility. So that is a big ask for right now. But if we're breaking out of this big scoop here and we're breaking above VWAP, like why don't we just shoot for here and then we'll take what we can get ahead of time, because we have over an hour. And look at this pop. Ugh. Thank you, gold. Thank you for being kind to my soul right now, because I'm not gonna lie, it's a little uncomfortable taking losses while live streaming. Okay, we're not worried about that. We scalped to take out this high of this liquidity to lock in green. We didn't have a huge size on because I am, not winning this day so far overall. And so we took out some of our size here at this, and now we got some open air here to this break of structure. So 41.24.5 is my ultimate target for gold if it just continues to fly. And then as the 5 minutes close, I'll manage my stop, because this trade wins because of the scale out. This will be fine. All right, let's see the NQ short. Thank you. Because you didn't do my bullets action and you just start sliding up. I'm going to put some exits on NQ at this liquidity here, which is 329.25. That's this pivot low after the first rejection. And that's just above my value low from this value area that we are inside of. And so just above that at this liquidity area pivot here, that's going to be a scale out for my short. Works. But if it doesn't work, I mean, that would fit with my pattern of the potential cup and handle sloppy W business. So we're going to ride them and see what happens. I am happy about gold, not going to lie. That was a nice win. Miriam's got a point about NQ being obnoxious. Listen to Mary. That's going to be my new mantra. All right. It's fine. It is what's going to be. This is the bigger area of resistance, and the longs have been failing, and VWAP is right there, and that is a good setup. So let's just look at how much prettier gold is. Look at that. Look how pretty she is. She broke that VWAP with a vengeance. And, I like how it scooped under the moving average. It tested it, kind of rode it, got some momentum underneath it. This is a bull flag. When it breaks here is basically when we got in. So this is a beautiful trade that I like. So managing this one on the 5s is my stop is basically right at break even, but right underneath that pivot area there on gold. So then that's even, no risk trade even for the runner. And we already got some profit on that. So this is the chart. You scalp gold? Yes. Thanks, Vodka. I love that. It was a good setup. It was a good bullish breakout. I like how we, when you zoom out like this, for me, this 4-hour setup just looked really good. That this area consolidated for days, and then it broke above with some good energy, traded above it for days, and then came back down and held. The momentum stopped. We got a wick below, push right back inside, and then next leg up. So here's to this gold setup. It looks good. On the 4-hour, though, thinking about this target, that was the break on the smaller time frames, but there is actually some traffic up here, right where we're at right now. So it might show some hesitation here as we test this 4-hour low here. But I think that the move honestly could last for days. So we're gonna just leave our target a little bit out of distance here and see what happens. Yeah, gold looked good. 15-minute bullish divergence on gold. Yeah. Let's pull up the 15-minute chart. I'm just gonna leave my stop on NQ. It's very close. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. From this low to this low, this was a lower low on price action, but a higher low on the RSI, which is absolutely bullish divergence on the 15 on this pullback here as well. Good call out, Mary. We watched the stop get hit and then never look at NQ again. I'm just kidding. Oh, she didn't take it yet. It's fine. We'll see. There's some wicks all up in here on these last few candles. So who's in charge? If the bulls can take this, then it could do the pop that I was hunting earlier. This will be my last NQ trade of the day for sure, because this is not working well for me today. But we got a winner on gold, and I like that. Is what it is. We're going to let this one work out to its full outcome based on where I put my stop on these wicks. This one, if I had left my stop, it would have been back in profit, but also it was a lot of risk and it was showing so much hesitation. So I'm fine with stopping it earlier. But this needs to, I feel like it's had enough time of consolidation. Like this has been, gosh, this breakout here was 10:15 for me. So an hour and a half ago was this breakout. And so it's consolidating for an hour and a half right around this key area, which is not a sign of the longs working. Right. So that is, again, why I'm going to hold this short and see what happens here. But I'm not going to give it the full distance here because that's too much risk. I'm going to give it this pivot from this consolidation of the last hour, although a little bit under the tallest pivot. That's how I'm going to manage it. What up, Amaro? How are you? Good to see you in. I am taking some licks. This is what's happening. I tried for the long twice on this breakout on this is in Q, on this cup and handle pattern. And then this breakout here, I got in long at the break of this line, this lip line, this cup line. And then it came back in and took out my stop. But then this candle got me in again. And then it's failing, so I shut it down. And it just seems like it's really hesitating at this area of a massive resistance from overnight from that news short. And it was really not doing the pop that I wanted up to at least this point of control here. So I tried for the short when it was failing, and now it's upside down again. So we're mostly just glaring at NQ is my stance. But there was a great setup on gold, which I did not get on early. But this breakout here. So I got in just before the break, right as it broke, basically. But this is view up too. So I scaled at the top of this liquidity here from this last pivot. And then my stop is basically at break even, just underneath because of the body low on this 15-minute candle. We're just going to let it cook and see if it can do the pop, because this is a lot of like low volume anomaly, fair value gap, what have you, free air kind of up to the overnight resistance on the smaller time frame. However, I think we're getting this response based on this. And so that's another reason to scale. But I only had one contract left because I went in light. So this would have been another potential scale in all of these wicks here, which we could have kind of tried to cut through all of them. Okay, so I wouldn't have got my target yet because this, where's that? 107.20. I like this as a potential scale because it cuts through a lot of wicks here that held. So if I had more contracts, I might scale there. And that might be where we end up closing this trade. We only have an hour left of this session. So we'll see. But if it's rejecting off of this, which is where it rejected from, and fails, then it might not get there. Yeah, that's exactly where it rejected. It was right at the tip of that. So that's, I mean, I didn't even quite get there. We'll see. So it rejected right below that. I think it has more room to the upside. I really do. I think the larger time frames are angling up nicely. I think that all of this down here is a key support on the larger time frames. I know I see it. It's still choppy, but it's rejecting. I know. I'm so glad I'm not alone, you guys, because it's a little weird streaming sometimes. But I really am not in love with this day either. Of course, it's my long streaming day, so that's fine. Come on. Drop it like it's hot. You know you want to. That would be great, honestly, if it did. That would be like penance or a reward for my stamina. How are you, Amaro? You get anything locked in today? Are you doing better than me? I hope you are. It's a coin flip at this point. Yeah, I feel that way, honestly, Jaja. Like, I feel like I liked the pattern for the long. It is failing at a key rejection point. So I feel like it could short. It's just dinking around. So whatever. I'm kind of, good morning. Yeah, I'm kind of just like gonna let it do its thing. Let the analysis play out, respect my stop placement for why I put it there. See what happens. I'm gonna set an alert at that pivot where I would love to get my scale out. Which was, what did I say? 26? 27 and a quarter. Let's set an alert on that. In case we're looking somewhere else. All right. Drop it like it's hot, mama. All right, come on. Let's go. Let's go. I'm watching this gold one too on this other screen. So I don't want to, it's hard to see both of them, I feel like, but we could do it again and just, we're not doing ES this time. Let's put this one on MGC. Okay, it's not so bad. Is that annoying to you guys to have all these screens up? Not annoying. Just got back home. Nothing. I'm sitting on the computer to see what it does in the power hour. Choose your fighter. Choose your fighter, legit. And then just see what happens. This is like a more gamble vibe than I prefer, because it is not. I really liked the W setup, and it just was not happening. So that was my rationale for the other trades. And this one is because the other one did not play out, but it could be that it's just taking its sweet old time. Yeah, she's pushing a little bit right now. Okay, well, NQ is about to be out for me. Yeah. Okay, well, that was fun. Thanks for hanging out with us tomorrow for Power Hour. Matt's going to hop on it as well when he is available. All right, well, this gold one is printing nicely. And cheers, whoever is getting in that pattern over here on the NASDAQ. Hey, Coach Matt, how are you?
What's up, Becky? How you doing? I was trying to give Nick the signal. I was like, Nick, go.
Oh man, I'm ready. Put me in, coach. That's good. I like it. I'm having a very mixed day. I'm in a winning gold trade, so that's fun. But I have been
Oh, you just made my day. You're in a winning gold trade. I love that. I love
winning
that.
gold long also.
Oh, I figured as
I
much.
mean, the day
Um,
we're having. Mhm.
I just joined you, by the way, on the pullback, 5-minute pullback on gold. I did join you on that one.
Yes. Okay. Good
I'm
job.
definitely looking long on the ES.
Yeah, because of the pattern. Can we just talk about that for a minute?
I like the breakout level at the 75.32 level, and I think you can front run above 75.30. I just feel like the bulls have kind of my personal opinion is I feel like the bulls have deserve the benefit of the doubt here as we navigate the power hour. Now, it doesn't mean I'm not equally willing to get underneath this 16 level, but because right now I do see it as a K trade setup on the ES, and I do
Uh-huh.
think you have an equal posture one way or the other. But I would suggest that given the totality of the information that came into the market today and the volatility we saw in the overnight session, and then the volatility we saw on the opening of the New York session, both held very, very firm. We never saw any continuation follow through to those volatility events. They both held firm against 74.70, and they're working back up into resistance. And then when you look at the ES and you come out to a little bit of a longer time frame and you look at it through the lens of a 15-minute chart, 30-minute chart, hourly chart, there's that old level right around the 32, 33 level on the ES that if you do break that level, I think you got to be thinking long. And so right now, I don't have a massive opinion inside the current range on the ES. But if we start getting above that 32 level, I do like the long on the ES. I don't see an edge inside pattern right now. But as
Mhm.
we break pattern, that level at the 32 level actually has some pretty important historical support levels to it. So that's one. Gold kind of outperforming a little bit here.
She's so
Um,
pretty.
and you're above pivot point, and so I think as long as you stay above VWAP here, you're thinking long.
Mhm.
And both times you've had tests against the 15-minute 9 EMA, both of them held like champs here.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
yeah, gold
Mhm.
gold looking pretty good.
Yeah, gold looked really good on the larger time frames. I zoomed out and it did a really nice break on the daily and the 4 hour outside of that multiple day consolidation. And then the way that it fell back in and it showed this nice hold and turn up and break out from that last 4 hour candle looked so strong for me. And then even on the hourly, more so, like it
Mhm.
curved up under the 9 EMA, moved curved up nicely under the hourly. It gave a little rest candle that held and then pushed. And so when I was irritated with NASDAQ, we started looking over there and I was like, that's a great setup. So
Mhm.
yeah, I got long right here, just kind of front run the breakout a little bit. And then I scaled at this pivot. And then now I have a
Oh, that
free
is a
trade.
beautiful trade, Becky. Well done. That is technically solid there.
I
Love
mean,
that analysis. By the way, if you like gold right now, just wait till the alleviation event and you'll love gold.
tell us more about that.
Um, gold goes down on the initial headlines of Iranian escalation. It goes down because 3 months ago there's an Algo program that basically got attached to gold ownership to gold on geopolitical events, specifically due to Iranian Straits of Hormuz situations.
Hmm.
And so anytime we see a headline of escalation, gold gets dumped. And the reason that is the case is because at the start of the war, the Middle Eastern countries had to dump their gold holdings, physical gold ownership, to buy U.S. dollars to pay the United States for the defense weaponry they need to defend against Iranian attacks. And ever since then, there's an algo program that every time we see escalation, gold gets dumped hard in the immediacy of the escalation, even though when you think about the reason you own gold long term is for these reasons, geopolitical elevated things. And so what happens is in the immediacy, gold gets dumped because the dollar goes up, but it has a hard time sustaining that bid. And then when the alleviation event occurs, i.e., Trump tacos, when the alleviation event occurs, dollar down, gold up.
Thank you for that explanation. I'm just so irritated. Okay, can I tell you about my irritation, Matt, and you coach me?
Oh, of course, 100%.
Okay,
All right.
because I cannot even
Can
tell
I
you
tell
what.
you what my end conclusion evaluation is going to be before you tell me?
Yes, please.
You're over trading.
I know. I do that.
Yeah.
It's a thing that I'm doing now with streaming, but also it's like, okay, so who doesn't see this cup and handle on NQ? It's like a sloppy W versus a cup and handle from this hard fall overnight.
Mhm.
And then it pushed up nicely, it retested that volatility, and it was shot down. And then it made a higher low and it did this nice curve up. So I was like, okay, we're breaking. This candle was breaking here. I got in long. And
I don't mind that.
it was an immediate breakout. It was immediately
Yeah,
a
that's
profit.
good.
Like I think it was up like $500 easily.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
then it retested this and it came back and it hit my stop loss, which was like around break even. So it was
Mhm.
like fine. but then here it did again. Where on the 15-minute it gave a bullish hold, like it retested the 9
Mhm.
moving average. It came back inside the breakout, but then this candle was more energy than the bears. And so I tried one more time and then it came back against me and I shorted it and I got stopped out again. So then
Um,
I'm like, this is a good pattern. Like these are trades that I like, like I wouldn't have tried a
Mhm.
second time if I didn't like the pattern. But then here I was like, well, I'm gonna try the short because basically the breakout was failing. So my rationale was, I know it's overtrading is the culprit, but also my rationale was like this breakout is not happening because this one had some strength. It did not have follow through.
What a
However, it came
beautiful
back
breakout.
down, tried again. This one was the try again, and it didn't have follow through. So then I'm like, okay, if we're still coming back down on the 15-minute, we were breaking a low with this candle. So that was my rationale for getting out of it, is breaking this low on the 15-minute.
Mhm.
And so here I had a tighter stop loss right above this wick and it just kissed my stop loss and is back at my entry of my short. So I'm just getting whipped around at this area of consolidation, but also it makes sense because of this. This is obviously an important area because there was the massive news related liquidity. And
Mhm.
then it responded here earlier. So this is a fight. And so what I was hoping for with the first two longs is a nice clean break, or at least the second, like it broke, showed intention, came
Mhm.
back, held in the 9 EMA, and then was breaking again. And so again, it should have worked. And then when it didn't, when it was hesitating so long, that's when I was convinced in my mind about potential bears holding this line because of could
Can
be
I
the
ask you a question?
yes.
In the last hour, has anything in the pattern broken?
No.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
no is the answer. That's an
Correct.
accurate answer.
Yes,
How
it
many
is.
trades do you have inside the exact same pattern?
3.
You have 3 trades in the same pattern.
Mhm.
You're over trading.
Yeah, and the first one the first one was stopped out at a reasonably.
Well, I guess that's just my general point, though,
Yeah.
is nothing has changed.
Yeah.
Like, nothing has changed. Like,
Well,
nothing on
okay.
the technicals, nothing on the levels. The first trade, that breakout trade, that is
Uh-huh.
an awesome trade. It didn't work
Yeah.
out, but I
Yeah.
would take that trade every day,
Oh,
twice
would
on
you?
Sunday, like,
Okay.
every single time I'd take that
Yeah.
trade. That
I
is
like
a beautiful multiple time frame trade. You
yeah.
had 2 bar consolidation going into a clean breakout. You got the breakout, you got confirmation, you got the trade, you got that is a beautiful trade. You
Yeah.
make that trade 100 times, you're hitting 60 to 65% percent of them, and you are a fantastic day trader on that. The
Yeah.
other 2 trades were chasing the first trade.
Yeah, they were. And
Mhm.
I think the second was I got stopped out, but then near immediately it was showing this bullish candle. And I waited till it was just about finished and it was showing some momentum on that. And I was like,
Mhm.
okay. So my stop was reasonable. I needed to like manage that. And then I saw it again. And so I tried again. But then here's where I did get a little bit irritated and I
Mhm.
had a closer stop versus leaving it under this pivot, which under that pivot would have still been in and it would still be profitable. But part of it, my rationale, Matt, and I don't know if this is ever a factor for you, of like, if the trade is stalling, then it's a sign that potentially it's not working, which is something that I
Or
consider
it's just
if
slowing
I'm doing a day
momentum.
trade. Huh?
There's other ways to parse that, though. If
Uh-huh.
it's slowing down, it could just be slowing momentum. But
Yeah.
the question is, did anything of the pattern or any level get broken? Nothing
No, it's
broke.
all
In
inside.
fact, I was just in a coaching session with one of my day trading students, Becky, and
Mhm.
we were live trading that session, and we saw this breakout
Mhm.
live. I was with my student live, and from that failed breakout, okay, because we were looking at the ES, but it was a very similar conversation.
I didn't.
On
Yeah.
that failed breakout,
Yeah.
I said to him in the moment an hour ago, there is no bull trade until you break out of that pivot point that it already broke out of. There's no bull trade there. There's no bull trade until you reclaim what you failed to achieve. And
Which would have
so
been what level on ES?
it was set, the level on the ES is 32. It's the
So that's
body against
the
the
body
base.
highs of these 2.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so basically, we sat there for an hour staring at the same thing you were staring at, just waiting on that to occur.
Yeah.
Because I just don't feel like there's any trade until you actually break out because everything stays in pattern. And
Yeah.
then what I was telling him and what I would say to you is when you're inside a pattern, you shouldn't be too aggressive inside a pattern because you don't have a probable edge inside a pattern. Where you have a probable edge is when patterns break, is where you have the
Mhm.
probability. And
Mhm.
so, and obviously everybody here knows this, but you should always be thinking two sides of the coin, right? You should,
Mhm.
because you trade the edge, but you got to understand both sides of the coin. And so the edge to the top side is when you break out. You have slowing momentum in the trend, you have to break out. If you don't break out, you have no trade. On the flip side, where's that next level before you can start fading it? It's got to break something else to the downside. Could it be the trend line you're talking about? Absolutely, 100%. Could it be the horizontal level at the 24 number? 100%. You yourself have to determine that, but it's got to break something. If
Yeah.
a pattern doesn't break anything, there's not a change for you to trade. You're trading. So that first trade that you made is the exact same trade you made the other two times. The first
Yeah.
trade didn't work out. I
Mhm.
don't know why we would think the other two trades would work out when the first trade didn't work out and they were basically the same idea. And
Yeah.
so if it, and the only reason I'm putting the coaching hat on is you asked me to put the coaching hat on. And so
Seriously, I was like, I was so this is the day where I stream for 2 hours, right? Obviously. And
mhm,
I knowing that you were coming on and I was like, okay, I'm like monkeying around. So I did want to like engage in the trades and feel them out. But then I was so excited to actually put you in this situation of like, okay, we got 2 coaches on. I took some hits and I want to talk about it. So that's why I also, as a psychology coach here, want to say that we all actually are always learning and humbled and
oh,
have the opportunity to speak to other
100%.
traders.
100%. We should never get to the point where we're like, yeah, I'm better than the market because
Yeah,
you're not.
the
The
vibe.
market's always willing to teach you some valuable lessons. And I've just long held the belief as a pattern guy, like I am a pattern guy. That's what I trade. I trade patterns. I trade
Yeah.
trends and I trade the patterns within a trend. So as a pattern guy, you do not ever want to be aggressive inside pattern development. You want to
Okay.
be aggressive outside pattern development. And so when things are breaking out, you're breaking out of the pattern. You're not and so when you're inside pattern, what do we see? Up, down, up, down, up,
Yeah.
down, up, down,
This
up, down. When we
annoyance.
see a breakout, you're doing that from a momentum perspective. And there's a lot of different ways to parse that, right? There's a lot of different ways to parse that. You yourself, the trader, has to determine the breakout level. You yourself has to determine what pattern you're going through. And you see your lines right here? You're drawing what
Mhm.
would be called a symmetrical triangle.
Mhm.
And when you have a symmetrical triangle, the edge is to the longer term side. And so do you see how your longer term support is up versus your longer term resistance is down? So
Yeah.
you have this triangle that is putting on a lot of pressure, right? And you
Mhm.
don't want to be inside the triangle because triangles are explosive volatility patterns.
Mhm.
Horizontal versus vertical. Vertical is always more aggressive than horizontal because you're having pressure being put on both sides of the equation. Whereas when you're dealing with a horizontal level of resistance and increasing support, the pressure is being put on resistance to break out. The probable edge is to the breakout. When you're in a
Mhm.
triangle, there's no edge in a triangle. There is pressure being put on both sides of the equation. And so
Yeah.
if you're being active and your orders are inside that triangle, you don't have an edge there. You have pressure being put on both sides of the equation. And so
Uh-huh.
what you should do is get that order above your level, get that order underneath your level, and then you're basically getting outside the pattern. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It absolutely makes sense. And it's such a good reminder. Because this is like this pattern was not there when I started. Obviously, it has been forming throughout this entire time when I'm in here, but it has been forming. You know what I mean? Like when this one held, like I could start to see it. And yeah, I think
Mhm.
edges to the downside, Mary. But I appreciate this conversation because even when you have experienced something and traded something and you feel like you know something, it's good to like feel it out and experience it and like cement it as well because
Well, it's also good to have trusted people on your team that can come in that know you, that can give you helpful advice to fix issues. You know everything I'm saying. There's nothing I'm saying to you that you don't already know. But you know how many times I've had to have a coach come in and knock me upside the head every now and then for me doing some dumb things because I wanted to be aggressive and maximize reward to risk ratio when what
yeah,
I'm really giving up is all the probability in the world. And by the
yeah.
way, your trend line, do you see how the market's dancing on that level? Boom, boom,
Mhm.
boom,
Sure
just
is.
dancing on that level. One last point. Just again, putting the coaching hat on here. Every
Please.
one of these trades outside of the first one was done without confirmation. Would you agree?
Yeah. Yeah, I was because this one I re-entered basically because it took out my stop and immediately started was being bought up. So for me, I was like, this tagged the liquidity, but the trade was still on.
I
Which
don't
doesn't
mind
make
that trade there, by the way.
uh-huh.
It's the other 2 that I have an issue with. It's not
Yeah,
like that one's the pullback against the slowing momentum trend. That's a little bit different. But
yeah,
once that never broke out and it lowered the level of resistance, that confirmed the symmetrical triangle. And
yeah.
so
I
it's
believe
not
that. Mhm.
that one that I really have the issue. It's the other 2 up as the triangle gets tight there. Once
Mhm. It's
again, as
engaging here.
triangles get tight, there's ways to trade triangles that you don't need confirmation, but for me, I don't love triangles. Like I don't. I personally prefer the cleanliness of horizontal levels.
Mhm.
So the way my eyes work, like I always look to the left and I always get caught up on some horizontal levels. But if I were to suggest the next signal here would be a confirmation close on your time frame of choice, 5-minute charts. The 5-minute chart has to close underneath that level. If the
Yeah,
5-minute chart does not test close underneath that level, you don't have confirmation.
yeah,
And so it might mean that you don't make the trade,
yeah,
but I would rather not make a bad trade than or I'd rather not make that trade and not get stuck than, get stuck and have to stare down the barrel a little bit.
yeah. Well, it was definitely like a good reminder of all of this exact conversation because and Ace has some really good points too, like the moving average being flat and the contraction pattern is totally accurate because this is a total loss of volatility. And so the bullish breakout is not happening, but the fall
Yeah,
against it is not happening either. So then just wait
yeah.
and like draw your levels, then back it up.
The patience is a position, is a
Yes.
trading philosophy for a reason. And when you're in and it's all about inside pattern development. When you're inside pattern development, like I see it all the time in reversal analysis, too many times people want to just buy the level and they don't want to wait on the actual reversal itself. And
Hmm.
so when you're inside pattern, you just wait on the development inside the pattern. And then when it breaks out, it gives you a clean look. So if this thing closes underneath your level and you're willing to short down to VWAP, I think you got a decent shortable opportunity there.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the better trade the last 40 minutes of the session because it would take a lot for the bulls to reignite momentum here.
Yeah.
Yes, Ace. Yes, it's patience.
Patience pays.
Yes.
Oh, I cannot. I literally had that posted on
Get it
my
on a t-shirt.
I had it on my monitor for a long time, but my last cleaning of my office, I like to rotate that. But that one came down for maybe I need to put it back up, apparently.
Swing trading will teach you these
Oh.
patience lessons quite a bit
Uh-huh.
because whereas you're like, I gotta wait for the next 20 minutes, a swing trader, I gotta wait for the next 2 weeks.
Oh god.
Look,
You know what? Honestly, Matt, that's probably why I only swing traded it for like a year or two. And I was like, nah.
I you miss out on some great runs as it
I know.
you do.
This is the part of me that I need to like recognize the opportunity on multiple time frames and like back it up a little bit and like because I totally believe in and love the beauty of swing trading. But you
I love
just
swing
hit the
trading.
nail on the head with my personality right there.
Well, that's why you don't swing trade, because you wanna trade more.
Well, because I like to lock it in and I don't know, like to see it happen and then shut down that trade. I don't know. There's something in it for me, but the long game is not quite as cemented in my practice, which my husband and I have multiple like,
Mhm.
retirement accounts, but like I'm not actively involved in them. So I don't know.
By the
Mixed.
way, it's not a great swing trading environment right now. I actually prefer the day trading environment right now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's because the weekly chart is in consolidation. Like, you don't have a trend right now that you're trading as a swing trader. So, as a
Mhm.
swing trader, I'm kinda doing the exact same thing that I'm telling you to do on this pattern. Wait for the pattern to get broken. That's what I'm kinda waiting on the ES for it to break out of
Mhm.
its high base on the weekly chart, and then we're gonna talk about catching that trend. But
Yeah.
I'll tell you, catching a trend as a swing trader, I don't know, that AI move last earnings season is a pretty good trend.
Dude,
So,
that was
you
sick.
be patient and you wait for it a little bit.
Even both of them respected this triangle pattern.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's
And
because
are
markets
still
are kinda
inside of
catching
it.
up.
So it turns out power hour is not super trade hour, but it's coaching hour. This is you're witnessing a
Listen,
live coaching hour right now, guys.
listen, Becky asked me if I'd put the coaching hat on, so I put the
Did.
coaching hat on.
I
Like,
appreciate you for doing it.
if
And you know what? Ricky in here said great discussion, so I am available to
well,
for this all the days.
I wanna give you a shout out, Becky, because, live in YouTube, asking another coach to evaluate, um, is such a strong mentality. Like, I truly, that's exactly the right question you should have asked. It's tough to have those conversations live, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But I hope people appreciate it, because I thought Becky's question and the analysis, I hope other people learned from that. Um,
Me
so
too.
I just wanna give you a shout out for wanting to have the conversation.
Yeah, actually, Ace is right. I did ask for the ruler because I recognized that I was behaving in a way. Uh-uh.
She
It
did
was.
ask for the ruler, Ace. She
I
did.
did. You
I
really
didn't
did.
bring the ruler. Like, I wasn't like,
No, you
the
didn't offer it up.
I
You were dancing around not saying anything, I think.
I I wanted to say
It's fair.
listen,
Uh-huh.
I have a deep, deep, deep respect for Becky's skill set as a trader. I have to have people that I talk to and talk me down, because I find myself over trading quite a bit too.
Mhm.
I think it's easy to find yourself as a trader, find yourself in a position where you're over trading. I think it's very
Yeah.
easy, especially when you're streaming. Like,
Yeah.
especially when you're streaming. Like, it's very easy when you're sitting in front of your own computer to be patient for an hour. It's a little bit more difficult when you got people watching and they wanna make trades, and they wanna make trades, and everybody wants to see the numbers, and it's
Mhm.
very easy to get caught up in that. But I think we do our community a disservice by doing that. I
Aw.
think if the market tells us to do nothing for an hour, we should listen to the market tell us to do nothing for an hour.
Yeah. I also think that these live trading sessions, such as what's going down right now, is actually really valuable versus just, I don't know, being more technical and whatever. Because, I felt part of my irritation and why I did overtrade is because when I was setting up my charts and I saw this pattern, I saw the breakout, I felt so good about it. And then both of them were immediately in profit. Like I think between the two, MES and M&Q, it was like $800 or $900 in profit when they peaked out here. And in that moment, I was busy situating my kids in my home. And so in my mind coming into this session, I was in a killer trade on
Mhm.
two indices that I saw that had a good pattern that I understood the rationale for and I felt really good about and were already in good profit. And so when they rejected and they both came and took my stops, I was like, it already was making me frustrated. And so again, like I am a human and I have emotions. And that was the moment of like, I had a great trade for a good reason with a pattern that I liked and momentum. So WTF. And so I think that this is literally me being a human right in front of you of like, in my mind, I was coming into a live streaming environment in a really strong position, which always makes you feel a little bit more confident in this role. And so again, like different emotional experiences can be different given what
Mhm.
all of us are experiencing in our lives, but that is definitely a factor for this.
Well, I just wanna say thank you to you, Becky, for having the conversation and be willing to have that conversation in front of everybody. I thought it was powerful. I just want to say thank you. By the way, I don't think your first or 2 trades were bad trades at all.
Yeah. I felt
It's
good about
more
them.
it's more as the pattern developed late stage, right? Because
Yeah.
on the first breakout, that breakout was beautiful. That first breakout, that
Yeah.
like that take that 100 times out of
Mhm.
100. It's even on the second trade when you were doing the pullback in a slowing momentum environment, I still don't mind that. Like, legitimately, that thing kissed off the 15-minute 9
Yeah.
EMA to a penny on that
Yes,
pullback.
it did.
And so I don't mind that one either at all. And it doesn't look like it was a clean test now because the 15-minute changes every tick. But I remember
It was
watching that literally in the real time, kissing
it
off
was
it
down
to
here.
the penny. And
Yeah.
it's really after that fell to produce a higher level of resistance where the triangle set forth. And
Yes,
so
agreed. Yeah.
your only bad trade was the third trade, really.
Yeah. And part of that was it was like I am red on the day. You guys can see like it's like there is also in me like, but then I did size down. I sized down on my gold trade, which
Mhm.
is being kind to me, which I love. But it's like you can't fix all one day, and then you got to back off sometimes, and like
Yeah.
and have these conversations, and like think about it. And that's why I do encourage people to journal and whatever method of like letting this out. Like this is, I have
Mhm.
zero interest in taking this training session into my afternoon for me because I got like a family and stuff to do and it's
Yep.
gorgeous July weather. Like, so I want to like have this out with you guys and like say that I'm still a human trader and we're like trading the patterns and some take hits and then we just get to still enjoy the evening. That's my plan.
I kinda wanna keep that stop loss on gold underneath that 40-90 level
Yeah.
and just
That's
keep
where
it
my
for, like, the next day.
I know.
Like, I'm
That's
not
what
kidding, like,
okay, that's what I said before you came on. I was like, "This target is aggressive because this is my target." I was
it
like,
ain't
"I'm
gonna
not
get
gonna."
there today, but, like, this session, but it could get there tonight.
Yeah, I totally think so too. I think that
Mhm.
this is almost free air. I mean, we're encountering, I think, this resistance here. I drew these 2
Yeah.
lines based on this tick and then cutting through these wicks, on the 15-minute, and so I think in here is, like, realistically the goal for this session, but this I think is very reasonable for overnight as well, just to take back this dump here.
By the way, any pullback on gold to that level as well would be a good reentry if we get it. That is favoritism, Mary, and I've only seen it every day for the last month.
Okay, there's not
Like,
that
Ace,
many
I got a
women.
banger trade yesterday, just drilling the analysis, just honestly calling out shots before they even occur, and Mary's like, "Becky, you're the best." And I went, "Mm."
Come on. Hey, you just said
And I'm
it's
like,
because
"She
I
is the
have
best." I
the
agree with that.
psychology conversations.
No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I agree with everything Mary says about Becky. She is the best.
I say it every stream, but like I'm actually really thankful that I was taken in by Blue Sky because everyone here is really genuinely good humans. Like from the
Mhm.
management all
Good
the way
people.
down to like
Good
customer
people.
service and management and streamers. We're all it's very equal playing field. Everyone is respected and appreciated and good people and wants everyone to succeed. Like it's just such good energy everywhere you turn. And the coaches the coaches that I get to stream with, I consider myself very lucky because this was a position that I could come on and be
Yep.
upside down in trades and be like, Matt, help.
Yeah.
And know that you would take care of me in a genuine way of like,
There's
let's have a good conversation.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. I agree with that. You are paid, Mary.
Mary, she's not supposed to admit
Yeah.
it.
Meg's like, "Shh." No, Mary, totally kidding, totally kidding. Um, Believe me, I have 4 kids, I got my favorites as well. Um, uh-huh, uh-huh. Becky's like, "Yeah,
Oh,
I shouldn't say that too loud. I
yeah.
did too."
They're not going to rewatch this
They're
one.
not here. They're not here. But
No.
no, I agree. That's one of the things that I've always appreciated about Blue Sky is it's from the top. You know, every organization will always take on the persona of the top of the organization. And Mike is just a really, really, really good human being. Period.
Yeah.
And sentence. It's what I like to say. He's a great trader. He's a better human.
Yeah. I'm with you on that completely. Yeah. Nice. It's nice that we've all found each other here and get to learn and grow together. Putting the coop together.
I see you wanted to stop looking at the ES and the NQ because you wanted to look at something great.
This one is so pretty.
This
Greens
is
and
yeah,
blues are beautiful.
this
Can
is
I just
better.
say? This red and orange malarkey over here is annoying.
Judge, my kids know this. Are you kidding me? You ask
Are we
every
getting the
one of my
break though?
kids, they know this.
Are we? No.
Like, who's Matt's favorite right now? Little baby Nora.
Ah, that was gonna be my guess.
Little baby Nora is.
Your other kids are like, hey.
My other kids are like, that's not your actual child. It's like, I don't know, she's still my favorite.
But look how cute she is.
Yeah, little baby Nora. But
Aw.
I love it's. I always say this about kids. Listen, as a parent, you love all your kids 1000% equally. You give them all the same opportunity, but you might like them a little bit differently.
Mhm. Do you see this right now? It literally kissed both ends of the triangle and it's still dinking around in the
Oh,
middle.
do you see how tight it's getting though?
Yeah.
Like, at some point, this is gonna
Boiling.
explode the volatility,
Yeah.
and somebody guess which way, because you don't know. Like,
Mhm.
this thing could explode one way or the other. Symmetrical triangles, and that's what this pattern is the most explosive volatility pattern we get because of the pressure that gets put on it. Doesn't always play out that way, obviously, but it's difficult to say which way this thing is gonna go.
All right. Should we wash both these pains in my butts today and see which one breaks first?
Yeah, I'm definitely interested on the triangle break, not on the break itself, but the secondary pattern after the triangle. Um, I don't love triangles personally. Like, I just don't. It's probably it's symmetrical triangles, I should say. I do not love trading symmetrical triangles. I do not have a great track record on them, and it's because I put a lot of emphasis on the left side of the chart.
Yeah. Well, y'all are gonna second this, but I am in timeout on MES and NQ. So if we do get this break, I'm gonna cheer for whoever wants to engage in that. But I need a little timeout.
It's getting close.
It's getting close. It's getting close.
Close. I'm
Yeah.
I'm not gonna trade the triangle. I don't trade symmetrical triangles.
If this breaks, it could hit view up though. If it breaks the downside,
Oh,
both
easy,
within range
easy,
so nicely.
easy. I'll tell you what I do like doing on symmetrical triangles. One of my favorite things to do on symmetrical triangles is on the daily chart, symmetrical triangles. Not a day trade. This isn't a day trade. One of
Mhm.
my favorite trades in a symmetrical triangle is to buy an out of the money call and an out of the money put and trade a long strangle.
Mhm.
It's one of my favorites because you expect movement, you expect volatility, but you don't know which direction. And so you can always wait for the break. But when you're inside the break, you want to catch that volatility. It's a little bit easier to position out of the money call, out of the money put, so that when you do get that volatility, one of them can get in the money and dwarf the other one. And so I do
Yeah.
like long strangles in symmetrical triangles, a little bidirectional type option trade, but
Yeah.
that's not a day trading thing. At least
Right.
for me, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great explanation though about like the coiling pressure that one of them's gonna have a big pop and the other one you just shut down once it identifies the other
Well,
leg.
because if the move to the downside happens, those put options, let's say you start at a 10 delta, all of a sudden it's a 50 delta and the other delta is 1. Like, it becomes a directional trade very quickly.
Yeah, so then that's just math, right? If you started
Mhm.
at 10 and you get a 50 and a -9, like you're in profit.
You're making $40 on every dollar move. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Math is a wonderful thing.
The Greeks are beautiful.
Mhm. They haven't done a clean break yet. It's still tight.
I did check the meeting minutes, and they gave me about as much confusion as the press conference and the initial statement gave me as well. It feels like, Warsh wants to be the Donald Trump guy, but it doesn't feel like the committee is behind him yet on that. There's still a lot of concern on the inflationary side of the equation, although what was interesting was a lot of the minutes, was 1 to 2 rate hikes and not 3 that was in the initial dot plot. So shocking, the dot plot lied. Shocking, shocking, the dot plot lied. Um, but I didn't have, like, a big takeaway from the minutes today.
Mhm.
I have been hearing some chatter on the bond market, specifically relative to the Japanese carry trade, and whether or not China is gonna have to raise interest rates to offset inflationary pressure they're trying to hide, and basically, that might force the Japanese to increase interest rates, and if that does, we'll see some unwinding of the carry trade. Maybe not a volatility event, I'm not there yet, but anytime the Japanese carry trade gets unwind, it puts pressure on the market,
Yeah.
sometimes substantial pressure on the market. Yeah, Dan, it's just one of those things that if China has to raise interest rates out of the People's Bank of China to offset their hidden inflationary pressure that they don't wanna tell the rest of the world they're dealing with, that's most likely gonna force Japan to act a little bit, and if Japan acts, carry's getting dumped even if it's a 2.5 interest rate hike. Now, to be fair, I have not seen that in pricing power of the currency market yet. Um, even today, the yen's down, not up, so we're not seeing any massive dump of the dollar to buy yen yet. Keyword yet.
Yeah. Good questions. Yeah, the 11 o'clock hour, they're the 2 p.m. Eastern, when the news hit, there was no change in volatility. Like, it didn't impact the price action at all, at least on INQ and ES. Like, it usually doesn't. I mean, I can't remember a time where it ever has, but people wonder, because it's red folder and it says FOMC, but it did not today in any way, like, which is the normal.
I was bored of the meeting minutes last week, and they weren't till this week.
And it didn't even come out yet.
And I still read them, and I still evaluated them, and
Good job.
after I was like, "Well, it doesn't change my read." Yeah, Dan, it's one way or the other, these trades get unwound, right? And the thing about it, I love what you said, it's an event. It's not necessarily a trend, you know what I mean? The carry trade unwinds, we get volatility for 2, 3 days in the market, could be substantial volatility. Great day trading environments, by the way, there. But it's not like a catalyst to propel massive trending analysis. And so I love what you said on the event because that's how I see it as well. Yeah, it's on the news itself, nobody catches that volatility. Sometimes it feels like you get punched in the face and then it's Mike Tyson's statement, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
I mean, that's a very good point. Then you seeing stars and getting scrappy.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And that Nasdaq triangle is getting
I
tight.
cannot. Yeah, like, just watching this, I'm like, okay. I'm
I'm
really
sorry.
glad that I am not involved right now. Wah, wah. I wonder what it's gonna do. We have imbalances in 11 minutes, so I guess at that point, there's literally no triangle left. Like, it has to be outside of it.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't. I think it's, yeah. Yeah. We'll see if it will give a tell ahead of time. Maybe someone can grab something off of that. But
Jaja, that's the edge you have. Flip a coin. If it lands on the edge, you'll make money.
there you go. Flip that coin. Cheers to that, Jaja. Because that's, yeah. I mean, that's the that's the environment right now. Definitely an area that is argued over and was not kind to me. Eh. I think with it not breaking out, my inclination would be short, but I don't. It was long for a long time, so I just am not. It seems
I
a lot though, a little
honestly
bit more.
I really do try, and I'm dead serious here. I try not to have an
Not.
opinion in a symmetrical triangle.
Yeah, because then you really are open to
I'm open to
what it
either
does.
side,
Yeah.
but I also like, it's rules for me. I cannot be aggressive in entries on a triangle. Like, I have to get confirmation. So, to me, it's just a matter of which one do you close first.
Mhm. Yeah. getting.
I mean, I would say down personally, if you had to, gun to head type thing.
Yeah.
I would say down.
Freedom to swing.
Here's testing underneath. See if we can close it.
My camera, my front door camera is lighting up saying that there's a person on my front porch, and it's just the shadow and it won't stop alerting me. Sorry.
Getting pulled by the shadows.
Yes, which usually it's really good. It's like it's a good system that is only supposed to alert when it detects a human body, and it's very highly reliable. And it has gone off no less than like 20 times in the last 20 minutes for a non-human. All right, man. I think she's trying to dump, but hasn't closed yet. So what would a static level look like? This
Right
one
there.
would be, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so too.
0.2.
That's the candle, and that's that last pivot.
Yeah.
On this one too.
If you were going to be aggressive on order, I'd get the order underneath 22.
Yeah. Yeah, same. 22 on ES, and what is that? 82 on NQ.
Mm-hmm.
That's the candle pattern as well as the most recent pivot.
Yeah, whenever you're in the triangle, it's always the recent pivot.
Yeah. Because obviously
if you wait for the lower pivots, you can't make that trade.
No, it's too far.
It's already made its move.
Yeah, your risk would be huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think you're basically saying, give me a close underneath that your vertical level, and then you can get that order in under 22.
Yep. Yeah, and you don't want to be super aggressive right at the triangle line either, because as we've seen here, it flirts with it, give or take a handful of points either way. A point or two on ES. And
the price is telling you to wait for a candle to close underneath that triangle.
Yeah.
If we're being the chart whisperer, it is telling us to wait. I wouldn't short yet. I think it would be gambling.
And I think
it would be the definition of making the exact same mistake you made earlier in the triangle.
I can't do it. I really am better about not over trading in general when outside of this season of my trading. And so I feel like I've had a remediation session with Matt, and I'm like, I'm on timeout. But if anyone sees their signals, I fully support this.
Everybody's signals a little bit different. I'm not coaching them. You asked me to coach you on this one.
I 100% did, and I appreciate it because it was good. It was good for me.
Yeah, if somebody wants to, buy inside triangle, we all have free agency to do whatever we want to do. That's up to you. I just would disagree with your technical take.
Well, and you've had a lot of years of fine-tuning and understanding and holding true to your rules, and then seeing a good outcome as a result of following them. And so that is how I think traders who are consistent to their rules, who are professional, are built, is by messing up and not following them, and then by honoring them, and then seeing the outcome of which direction you get from which choice. And then when you decide to really lock into rules, that gets you generally quite a bit more consistency. And so that's why you are really speaking to that so nicely.
All I can say is, in historical technical analysis, if you trade inside a symmetrical triangle, you are not doing it with an edge. And if you decide to trade inside a symmetrical triangle without an edge, don't be surprised when you get beat up. Like, don't be surprised if you get chopped up. Don't be surprised when you constantly get stopped out. So, like, the edge is when it breaks. That's the edge. I didn't make the rules. So the edge is when it breaks. Get that close right here.
Jack just said the risk team is here, so I got to hide my chart.
Like, I would love this right here to close. Right here. Just close. Just close. Yeah. And then let's get that answer or order in. I'm not trying to be like, oh, you got to wait 30 minutes here. I'm just saying, if inside the pattern you've had 50 candles and not one of them have closed outside of the pattern, don't say this one that you want to make a trade in is going to be the one that closes outside the pattern. The other 50 didn't. Why do you think this one's going to? just because it's getting tighter,
Yeah.
wait for the close. It's like Jesse Livermore. I didn't say it. Jesse Livermore said it. Confirmation is the insurance you write on your projection. If your projection is down, what's the harm in waiting for confirmation to make sure that you are right?
Yeah. What I love about that, exactly what you just said, and that Livermore quote, is that you also don't have to sit in indecision for as long. Because when you truly do wait, you're waiting on cash. And then when you get the confirmation, the move is taking place. And so for me, I really enjoy getting into a move and it moving. And so then when you do have the patience to wait for that, then oftentimes your risk is only questionable for a few minutes and then the trade is happening. And so then all you get to do is manage your risk and enjoy the profits, So that is a huge benefit to that approach as well, in my opinion.
I just don't understand why we're trying to maximize return over a 2-point difference in the chart. Here's your move. You can take that trade down if you want, but I'm going to still wait on the close.
Yeah. No, I'm not doing it.
I am going to make the trade, by the way. If it closes here, I'll get underneath the low.
You do it. You do it for us.
Now, the risk in my approach on this one is I miss the trade.
Yeah.
That's the risk, is that I miss this trade if it goes too far too fast.
Yeah. NQ is breaking. ES broke first. NQ is breaking now. So
that makes sense. Cyclicals have been the weakest today.
Yeah, it's nice when they both go together. Tightness and yeah. I know we're right at imbalances. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you, Jared. I'm not touching this. I did put myself in timeout and
I like the ES more. Like,
oh, I think I stepped out of gold.
And that move coming out of that triangle is good. Yeah, gold's going to come back down.
Yeah, I just stopped me out.
Me too.
That's good. It was right at my entry, and my other one won.
You and I had the exact same stop loss.
Yeah. Hey, great minds.
Yeah, we did.
Makes sense. That was a good trade. I got a nice scale, and then it was risk free.
By the way, I'm excited about gold in the Asian session tonight.
Yeah, there's some nice pocket there that we could take.
There's some very interesting levels that could be played on gold tonight.
I think NQ is popping right back upward. This almost looks like a fake out as well here. I mean, it definitely broke that triangle, but it's like there's some hesitation here. But then imbalances is in like a minute and a half. That could cause the second half of this break.
Well, this was a lot of staring down the barrel for me outside of the gold trade, but I appreciated the conversation today, though. I rather enjoyed that.
Me too. I have been,
I think I need to teach symmetrical triangles in the lab tomorrow.
You are more than welcome to use me as an example as well as my chart, because
I use you for positive examples because you're a wonderful trader.
Well, thank you. I try. And it actually I really do think that experience creates us, and so on the days where I am humbled, such as today, I am going to journal about it, and I'm going to take the lessons of it and let it make me better and let it go, because not every day I'm just going to be green, and I am mostly green. And so I can't, what am I going to, no one is perfect. And to expect that I only get to be happy on perfect trading days is not how I want to live my life. So I'm not doing it. This is fine. We were humbled live, and now it's fine.
See, and if we had any time left, I'm not going to do anything right now, but if we had any time left, I'd be looking for a short here. Now that we closed underneath the pattern, I'd be looking for a pullback, or I'd be looking for a inside low pattern. But once you close is when I would officially look. But imbalances are going to change all that. Contraction patterns. Are you talking like symmetrical triangles, ascending triangles, descending triangles, cup and handles, inverted cup and handles, those types of patterns? I love those patterns, by the way, because those are trend starters. Both trend continuation and trend starters there.
I love this question. Yeah, I think that's a great topic, and I am I love your labs. I always learn, and I enjoy the dialogue, and I appreciate your examples and the way that you talk about it. And today was a mini version of that, and I'm gonna attend and get follow-up on this, because the more it sinks in, the more we do better over time, you know? Like
Thank you for
I did have rationale for every single trade, and I'm not gonna be disappointed about it really much.
oh, you shouldn't be disappointed. No.
Meh, meh. Could have been worse.
No,
Thank you.
this was a minor conversation on the 5-minute chart inside a symmetrical triangle coming into the close. Like you shouldn't take too much from the evaluation here. Just if you take one thing, just be a little, and I'm not talking to you, Becky. I'm talking just in general.
Talk to me.
But whether it's the 5-minute chart, 15-minute chart, daily chart, weekly chart, doesn't matter. While you're inside pattern development, like the
Yeah.
weekly chart right now is a consolidation high base. There's no edge there yet to the longer term chart. We're in a consolidation high base. You shouldn't be too aggressive inside a consolidation high base on the weekly chart.
Yeah.
Same conversation here on a 5-minute chart. Like it's when you recognize patterns, you are patient while patterns develop, and you're aggressive while patterns get broken out of, because that's where the edge is. It's not inside patterns, it's outside patterns. And so you're blaming the lawyer in me. I see how that is. Like Matt's lawyering it up again. Yeah.
State your argument, counselor.
Matt, you need to go out there and just do some shots in the dark. Come on, no more articulation.
A little caution to the wind.
To the moon, guys. Let's go. Rocket ships. I think that's what most YouTube is these days for most YouTube trading channels is let's get on a rocket and go to the moon, guys. Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that's the analysis you're looking for, wrong channel. We like to educate and teach along the way.
Yeah. Yeah. And take psychological lessons live.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We will put the coaching hat on live.
Yeah.
But only when requested, Becky. Only when requested.
You know, I think I learned in my 30s, I became a different person. And I don't know that that's true for everyone, but I think it's true for a lot of people that I know and that I value, is that we have less F's to give and more are like, I want to do what's good for me. I don't like, image is less important now. And it's more about like what brings me life and happiness and enjoyment and prosperity and tunes out negativity. And learning from people that do what I want to do and have a good energy and attitude about it, like that's where I want to put my F's. I don't have it to give to people who don't bring anything of value to my life. And so here I am appreciative of this conversation.
Listen, I once had an opportunity to speak in Mumbai, India for a 3-day event, teaching about 150 Indians how to trade US stock equities and options.
Ooh.
Listen, if you can withstand the opinions those gentlemen had during those 3 days, you could what anybody says on YouTube, you really don't care about. I've been doing this long enough. I'm pretty comfortable with who I am and what I tried to do. And at the end of the day, when you put the coaching hat on, you're there to help people. Period. End of sentence. It's about them. It's about who they are and their journey. And you try to put yourself in their shoes to try to give them the best advice you can.
Yeah. And I think that sometimes when people ask questions, there's probably someone in the audience who gains value from it as well. You know, like I'm not the only person who has ever taken a trade inside of a consolidation pattern. I'm not.
No.
I would wager that a lot of us have engaged.
I have done it, and I'm the one that said, don't do it. I've done it. And you know what? There's times I feel like I have an edge inside a pattern and I want to front run. And that's fine too. Like there's you can create scenarios that allow you to do those types of things. But when you do front run, whenever you're when you're inside a pattern and you're making a trade, you have to consider yourself front running the pattern. And when you do stuff like that, just do it with a smaller position size. Like just treat it with the respect and dignity that the trade deserves, because you don't have a probable edge. You're trying to maximize reward to risk ratio, which means you don't have to full port.
Yeah. Well, and you can add to it when you get the confirmation, which is why I love scaling in and out of trades, because it does keep the risk lighter if you don't have full confirmation. And then when you get it, you can add. And at that point, you've waited for confirmation. And so the likelihood that it just pops is more likely.
I do think you made a wonderful point, though. Like a lot of in your 30s are trying to figure out who you are for the rest of your life, pretty much. And yes, you should have a pretty good identification of your principles and your DNA by the age of 40. I would hope so.
Well, and I think it creates a different confidence level. Like, I think it was
Mhm.
harder to take criticism when I was younger, and now I don't even really see this as criticism, as more as a constructive conversation in a way that I,
100%.
you know,
I hope you
hopefully will
didn't
make me
take
stronger.
anything I said other than constructive because I would never, ever criticize you, Becky.
Right.
And I don't
But
wanna criticize anybody, honestly. Like,
a
you
younger trader might have
yeah.
felt a different way of, like, embarrassment or frustration or, like,
Well, then I would tell that younger
defensive.
trader they need to grow up and they need to hear some bad things. Like, if that's fine, but the younger trader needs to hear those things even more.
I think we all
And
need
if
to
it
hear
was a younger trader, my language would have been a lot more harsh if they would have got defensive. So, but no,
giving
we're all
us
here to learn.
I don't actually give the ruler, I
She
teach
did.
with
She does
love.
give the ruler. She
Oh,
absolutely has it. She has it. She's willing to use it. I in her psych lab, I feel like she's talking to me like 85% of the time. I feel like this is a personal attack on me as a human. No, I'm totally kidding.
and that's on you right there
No,
too.
but honestly, Becky, that's why I love your lab though. That's why I love your psych lab because I need to hear these things. I need to hear these things. Even as somebody who's been around for a very long time, I need to get those gentle and since it's Coach Becky, maybe not so gentle reminders that you need to step back I'll tell you right now, some of the greatest traders in the world have mentors and coaches. Some of the
Yes.
greatest traders in the history of mankind
Mhm.
have people that they call mentors and coaches that they go to, people
Yes.
like Coach Becky on the psych side, people like Coach Matt on the tech side to get secondary understanding of what they're seeing because we as human beings only use between 3 and 5% of our brain power. And so we don't see everything. We don't know everything. We don't understand everything. There's too much information. It's too big. It's too complicated. We need to have other people that we trust, that know us, that care about us, that truly want our best interest, that have our best interest at heart to
Yeah.
help us navigate these decisions. And it's not just about trading. The best CEOs in the Fortune 500 companies have mentors and coaches that help them to hold themselves accountable.
Yes.
It's and so when people that are not that get offended at these types of things, it's like, why
You need to be able to continue to
you need to
learn.
get over yourself a little bit, have a little bit more thicker skin because the top people in our world have these things to help them navigate it. They
And
might have all the
humility.
money in the world, but it's the people that are around them that make them who they are.
Yeah. I know that as a literal fact as well. Like the highest success achievers have a very, very strong crew directly surrounding them. Mentors, coaches, they journal, they meditate, they exercise, they take periods of rest. And
Mhm.
it's not so it, like the whole flashy, like not even don't need to listen to anyone else is BS. Like that's not actually how you really achieve the greatest
It's
goals
not
in
how anybody actually achieves greatness in the mo
life.
in any aspect of
This
life.
pursuit.
It's not just about
Yeah.
trading. It's the old rule for a reason, right? The people we are all a collection of the people we surround ourselves with. Every single one of us are. We're either at the upper end of the average, the lower end of the average, but we're all an average of the people we surround ourselves with. We have those choices. That's why I say, if you don't have good, successful friends, just go get some.
Hang out with us. We're here for it. Speaking of that,
Yeah, we're gonna get into that ding, ding, ding very soon. Me and Becky
you
obviously didn't love the triangle after after
no, I'm not touching this.
we didn't love anything about it.
Look at
Um,
this bee just did a fake breakout again. Like I just cannot even with this mother. Like this was I really enjoyed the coaching
listen,
session. I really did. Thank
I'm
you.
not surprised that it was the chop, chop, chop show,
No.
but I do think we have cleaner environments. I just feel like today was a tough day with the geopolitical headlines and
No.
crude oil pumping and, you know, I think tomorrow's a cleaner day personally.
Well, I really appreciate all of you guys.
I appreciate you.
I like I think I needed to be in this like I'm really glad that I did this live sort of. I'm glad-ish that I did this live and I'm appreciative for the community and the coaching and the conversation that followed because I think I mean maybe someone else took some gems from it and hopefully not with the losses that I took. But I'm fully available to have these constructive conversations that will make us all, myself included, better because I want us all to achieve all of our goals. So I'm here for it. Thank you, Matt, for all of the
I
things and for being in
I
this.
thought you were awesome today, Becky, and I thought the conversation was fantastic.
Thank you. Well,
All
with
right.
that, I'm gonna wash this session off, quite literally, probably, and have a lovely evening. I wish that for all of us.
All right, team. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Actually, I'll be on an hour earlier for the technical analysis lab. Come join me, and then we'll have a fun session in Power Hour tomorrow. Catch Mike and the boys in the morning, and we'll see you guys in the afternoon tomorrow. Have a great evening, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow.